swear you lot.
Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Gab's in Monaco, Frank's in France.
Thanks, Frank.
And
Want to talk about that freaking Lewandowski?
Gab, do you think that's a foul?
oh my goodness. They're talking about the Lewandowski disallowed goal against Rayo.
Yes.
Which
I was
riled
listening
Craig
to
up in
your
the main
discussion. The referees have been instructed that when you step on an opponent's foot, it's a foul, plain and simple. Now, we can debate whether it's right or wrong, whether the rule should be left like this, but they've kind of taken the interpretation away from the referees. And by the way, Frank, I don't think it's fair to say it's because they haven't played football, because just about everybody's played football. This is not something where you need to be a World Cup winner to understand the dynamic of what happened. This kind of stuff happens at the crappiest six-a-side levels as well. It's just a question of how do we want to avoid this? Do we think that there are some players who sneakily do things like this to hurt an opponent or send a message? And do we think referees should treat everything case by case? They've decided, and those poor guys on the VAR, they're simply applying the rules. So take it up with the people who make the rules.
Yeah, all right. Look it up with those
Can I
guys.
answer to that? Can I answer to that? I mean, I understand.
You go, Frank. Come on, let's hear it.
No. It's just one thing. It's just one thing. I'm afraid that the sport that I love is getting softer and softer every year. When I hear Stevie saying for the LAFC goal that the guy was like that, and he received the ball, and I hear Stevie say it's a handball, I say, I'm sorry, it's not the football that I like. I mean, you try to trick somebody, you step on his foot. Oh, it's a foul. Oh my God! I'm gonna watch my wife.
I'm just going along with what Gab said.
No,
I'm gonna watch
you
my
awarded the penalty
wife.
for the handball.
Yeah.
It was because you said it was a handball.
Yeah,
that
but
they
I'm
got
going
a
along with
penalty.
what Gab said. What Gab's saying is the same with a handball. That's the way the game's refereed today. That's what I'm going along with.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
That's what I'm going along with.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Have we had a question yet?
No.
This is Extra Time. Please, 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 can you just put a question on the
Yes,
screen?
you can have the first question.
And we can somewhat move on with this debacle.
He started it
Really?
today. He put it out to the panel.
Well, it could happen in an important stage in a big game.
Tommy, put a question up for God's
Craig,
sake. I don't.
are Madrid's problems as simple as offensive players don't defend and they lack a ball-controlling midfielder like Kroos?
Well, they have front players that are limited in their ability, their endeavour to work hard. So that puts extra pressure on if you want to press. There's no doubt Toni Kroos is going to be a big miss. Luka Modric is well into his late 30s now, so and he didn't, not just on tonight, but he didn't have a particularly good game. So whether he can, and last year I think it was a realisation from Ancelotti that Luka Modric could be a good addition to that squad as a bit part player, but not as somebody who he was going to rely on. Toni Kroos was a player he leaned on a lot, particularly last season. So there are quite a few facets of this team that are not working, and two of the more solid players, Rudiger and Militao, as Stevie pointed out in the show, looked quite ropey as well. He had Ferland Mendy in match day one make the most utterly ridiculous challenge, and how he only got a one-match ban for it, I think it was, I've no idea. The only one, and he didn't play tonight, who, whenever he plays, I think is absolutely rock solid. I think he's one of the best in the business is Dani Carvajal. And of course, you've got a world-class goalkeeper behind, but there are quite a few issues for the manager to sort. But guess what? He had more problems to sort last year, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And he found a way, amazingly found a way with the amount of injuries that he had all through that team and the loss of Karim Benzema, blah, blah, blah. And Ancelotti found a way to be very successful.
Okay. Craig and Stevie, is there anything to make about more Scottish players moving away from the UK? McBurney, McTominay, Adams and Hendry have done so in the past year. Will it have a better, worse or indifferent effect for the Scottish national team?
I actually think it'd be better for more players to go and play abroad. I can't remember, there's a couple of players. Gab, who was the boy that played at Bologna last year? He was absolutely brilliant for them.
Former Aberdeen player.
Yeah, I think the more players, and I've listened to a few of the English guys from years ago that said even though they were playing at Liverpool and Arsenal and Man United, they wasted maybe taking a year or two out to go to Spain or Italy or Germany or wherever to enhance their career. And I think it would be good for certainly some of the Scottish players, from a sort of technical point of view, to go away and play in better leagues, certainly better leagues than the Scottish league.
It seems like when they go abroad, when they come back, they seem more rounded in everything they do. So from that point of view, I would have to agree, aye.
It was lovely.
I mean, it's not going to make the Scottish national team brilliant, but I think a lot of those guys have benefited from going working with foreign coaches in foreign countries, different tactics, different stadiums, different way of approach to training. And I think in the main for some of these guys, that has to be a benefit. I mean, we're seeing Scott McTominay now going to
Napoli, and they were all chanting, Scott, Scott, Scott.
I mean, you know, what, something you never thought would happen, really. Fair play to him.
Frank?
I think it's crucial for a country and players like for coming from a country like Scotland to go abroad and to get some experience outside of Great Britain. I remember for France, when we had the Bosman law and we are allowed to travel, and I myself went to Chelsea, but so many others were already in Italy for De Sailly, Deschamps, Zidane, Bogossian, and some other in Spain, and Lizarazu in Germany. That was so much of something more that we learned from all countries that we went in to bring back to the national team. Remember Germany, when most players were in Italy, where Italy was the best league in the world, and Gab can witness that. Germany was exceptional at that time, with the Matthaus, Bremen, and so many others. That was a different class of Germany for me. Going abroad brings you something special. And maybe English players, they start to do that, but not enough to bring back something special. How to defend well, how to be winners, we learned that from Italy, for example. How to fight, we learned that from England. How to be more technical or tactical, we got that from Italy and Spain. And when you bring that to your national team, it's of course a plus.
Hey, some Scots, you know, go abroad.
To England.
No.
No, that's Great Britain. That's not really abroad for us.
No. I don't
That's
mean
England.
That.
That's
excuse me, Frank. Post-playing career, we have
To America.
Spread our wings, yeah.
well, spread our wings into
Learn a new language.
too late.
We're embracing.
So cultured.
Do you laugh and jest, Stephen?
Well, let them laugh.
They laugh at us who we come here, we just embrace the culture.
Numerous countries, learned so many
Previously,
things.
if somebody laughing at us, we would have collapsed, right? But not now.
Take it in stride.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we've travelled thousands of miles to get here.
Yeah.
I know.
To embrace.
I mean, I always think of culture vulture when I think of you two.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
And we're learning every day.
Gab, it would seem like we would see a more hectic transfer deadline day this time around than the last few times. Why have clubs kept their business till the last minute this time around?
It's funny enough, I have a column coming up on this, but I think the short answer is that football as a business is not a good business right now. The number of clubs that are just losing money hand over fist is absolutely enormous. There's 20 clubs in the Premier League, and if I were to tell you how many of them actually made money last year, well, it's one. Brentford. Well done, Gio. And, you know, at some point, people get tired of chucking good money after bad. And that's the Premier League, who are kind of like the richest, most successful league around. That's why the clubs have insisted on putting these profit and sustainability rules so that they can be, as the name implies, sustainable. Now, is it the rules? Is it the fact that people are losing money, they're tired of spending? I think it's both things. I think there's going to be a correction in the market. The money from Saudi last year helped to mitigate that a little bit. I think it's something like 15 or 20% of the money that was spent in Europe last year actually came from Saudi. But I think this year there's a lot less of it. And players just don't want older guys on big contracts. Experience isn't valued the way it was in the past. And that's why we're seeing this situation.
Frank, Beckham shared some wonderful stories of his time playing with Zizou on Hot Ones. What were some of your favourite moments playing with Zidane? This is giving you a reason to bring up the 1998 World Cup.
I might have to. What can I say about Zizou? It's more about I'm the godfather of the Bleu de France, which is like the poppies in England. And last year, I needed a shirt from Antoine Dupont, the rugby player, and Zinedine Zidane. And I called Zizou and I texted Zizou and I asked him if I could send him a shirt and get it back with his signature and a little word on the shirt. And he immediately answered to me. He said, "Frank, I do that. Send it to me. I would be more than pleased to do that." And I never thought he would answer to me that quickly. I never thought he would do that. And he sent it back to me very quickly. That I so much appreciated that. And he showed how a nice guy is and how perfect that I think is as a human being. That and the pancake that I was sharing with him the morning of the World Cup final. We are the two at the table in the morning eating crepes, not real pancakes, eating crepes together. That was a good time.
What did you talk about?
Oh, we didn't talk. You don't talk when you eat. You don't talk when you bite stuff, you know.
Are we really asking what people are talking about while they're eating crepes?
On the morning of a World Cup final, I'm asking it. Yeah.
I'm kind of sizzling on the
Don't
edge
be all
here.
upset because I said you weren't cold.
No, you went eating crepes in the morning of the World Cup. What did they talk about? And I'm looking at the clock going,
oh, you want to go home?
It's not that I want to go home. I don't want to have. It's not that I want to go home. I do want to go home, but I don't want to have meaningless conversations.
What do you think we're doing right? To get the salt, so Zizou, I want you to do that. So when you come in here, I want you to go up there. So give me those crepes. So when I'm... What do you think?
Let's be honest. When Frank texted, and the first thing he sent back was, "Who's this?"
Yeah.
Who's this?
Who's this? It's not you again, is it? What do you want this time?
All right.
Don't ask stuff about crepes.
What do you want now?
All right.
Right, don't.
No more talk about crepes.
Don't ask things about penalties, disallowed goals.
Disallowed goals, crepes, Champions League.
Didn't affect the game.
Swiss format. For Stevie, how concerned are you that Liverpool will fare against Real Madrid at Anfield? Last time at home, Liverpool got spanked 5-2 against Madrid. Obviously, we're talking about these exciting new games that the new format's bringing us in the group stages.
To be honest, it's a question that you need to ask me near the time because it depends on what both sides are doing, how you're going to feel about the game. I'm either going to feel we're in a good place and we can win this game, or when Liverpool played Real Madrid the last time when they got spanked, defensively they were a shambles, and I was kind of worried. Now, when he went 2-0 up, I was thinking, you're going to win this game. But then, of course, it fell apart. So it's a tough one to answer right now.
The last...
I was just going to ask Gab something.
Yes, go on.
That I shouldn't really ask.
Oh.
In the mere thinking about wasting time. Well, are the Champions League games going to be the Tuesday, Wednesday, the same, Gab? And I presume then there's just going to be a few more games in each day, or is it going to be different in that respect as well?
No, so except for 1 week where they're going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they'll do the same with the Europa League. They'll have an exclusive week, whatever. Otherwise it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's going to be exactly the same. The only difference is there's one more game, or two more games, I guess. Yeah, two more games, one more game. So 2 more games because you've gone from 32 to 36 teams, right? So you're going to have, I guess, 5 games on a Tuesday and 5 games on a Wednesday. You'll still have the 2 kickoff times at, whatever the time, I guess, depending where you are in the world, but the early kickoff, and then most of the games will kick off late.
It'll feel maybe a little bit the same. It might still feel like the Champions League.
Well, we'll still have it on all the screens, and we'll still be watching.
Yeah.
Right. And fair's fair. We'll give it a chance to see how it works. It might be fine. It's just been a bit of a palaver to get.
Because you guys are so adaptable, having moved all around the world like you have. It
Yeah.
just shows how versatile you are.
Pretty easily when it comes around.
Yeah, exactly.
Flexibility is our middle name.
Yeah.
Craig, what do you make of Ronaldo's comments claiming he scored 2 goals at Euro 2024? Why does he feel the need to defend himself like this? So this is on his new YouTube channel. Rio Ferdinand was a guest and he said, well, you know, people are saying I didn't score at the Euros, but I did. I actually scored 2 penalties. And so he counts those goals as 2 goals at the Euros.
File it in the don't care column again.
OK.
Well and truly at the back.
Filling in time, isn't it?
What?
Well, he's just he's filling up. What did you say, a podcast?
Filling up time. No, on the YouTube channel.
Right.
He's Cristiano Ronaldo's...
He's filling up the time, isn't he? Something to talk about.
Well,
That's all he's done.
To be fair, his manager gave him enough chance, Roberto Martinez, to add to those goals, which he failed to do. Maybe he missed that bit out, I don't know. Just a guess.
All right, sounds like you do care.
I don't care.
All right. Well, that's all
Not
we've
a
got
lot
time
I care
for.
about, to be honest with you.
No, definitely not VAR calls on a game that Barcelona won.
Oh, what happened in that?
Correct.
Ah, don't start. Thanks so much for
As soon
sending
as
in
that
your
rolled in,
question.
as soon as that rolled in, I had
Time's
to bite
up.
the table. Then I heard the VAR in Spanish, that was it. Gone.